Hello humans and extraterrestrials. So, I have not spoken to y'all in a while. I've been very busy. Exams have been going on. Assessment opportunities have been going on and are still. I'm just taking a break at the moment. Um, and our school library, were giving out books that were like outdated or they had a lot of copies already. They were giving out free books basically. And even though I have like upwards of 50 books that I haven't read on my bookshelf, I couldn't resist. So I have, I think, 14 books here that I took from our library. So yeah, we're just gonna go through them and I will tell you about each one. I've not read any of them yet, obviously. I only got them yesterday, but I thought I would talk to you about them. So let's start with Social Conditions in Britain, 1918 to 1939 by Stephen Constantine. This is a small, very small, history book about the social conditions between the end of the First World War and the beginning of the Second. I just saw it and I found it incredibly interesting. The amount I say incredibly interesting on this channel is too much, but I found it, I felt that I would engage with it well, because this came out, when did this book come out? No one ever signed it out at the library. It's very sad. It was originally published in 1983, but it looks very interesting. I would quite like to learn more about this period of time, like historically, because there's a lot of things associated with this period in time that I don't know the truth of. You know, I find it interesting and engaging, because I know a lot about like the Cold War, for example. I know a lot about that period of time and about what was going on there, but I'm not quite as keyed up on this specifically. So that is the first book. Let's see, what do we have? Another one we have is Consider the Lilies by Ian Crichton Smith. This is a book that, the fact that I've never read any Ian Crichton Smith is abysmal to me. This is a book of which the dominant theme is the Highland clearances, and as a Scot who finds that topic incredibly interesting, I thought it was worth picking up. It's also funny because I have another friend, Kira, you don't watch any of these videos, but hi, I love you, who there was 2 copies of this and she picked up the other one, so twins. But yeah, this is about the Highland clearances. It is like his most known novel. I find it incredible. I'm intrigued. It's also one of those things where I feel like he's one of those names where if you were unaware somehow watching this channel, I'm going to do an English literature and linguistics degree at uni, beginning this year. So I feel like this is one of the authors that I would like to have read at least one of his books. I would be surprised if he wasn't on my reading list, to be honest. Next we have A Collection of Critical Essays by Dylan Thomas. Another big name. A lot of these were just big names that I was like, this is an essay collection, I feel like I need to take it. This is a good example of that. These essays all represent high points of controversy, apparently. I don't know very much about Dylan Thomas. I know he's a big name and I know that I love this cover. So I'm very interested. So I'm incredibly intrigued by this. It's gonna be good. I love this cover too. I saw it and I was like, I love it. It's mental. I'm really excited about it. Next I have Basic Animal Farm by George Orwell. They had this copy they had a couple of this copy because I think they have quite a few copies of Animal Farm in our school library, and this was one of them, and I just picked it up because I was like, I own 1984. I still haven't read it, but it's a book that I want to have read and I like this funky wee copy, so I took it. If you are somehow unaware, I will just read you the blurb on the back. Old Major, the board, dream of farms run by animals for animals, with liberty and equality for all. When the animals of Manor Farm, led by the pigs Napoleon and Snowball, drive out Farmer Jones and set up Animal Farm, the dream seems to be coming true. But as the pigs become more powerful, Old Major's visit turns horribly sour. I wonder what that may be an allegory for. I wonder if it's maybe metaphorical in relation to something historical, perhaps. But yeah, no, I need to read it. I want to have read Animal Farm at one point. It's also not very long, so, yes. Next, we have more English stuff. Okay. Jane Austen's novels, Andrew H. Wright, A Study in Structure. So if you're unaware, one of the books that I am doing for my dissertation, which you will be aware of because I talk everyone's ear off about it on this channel, is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And I have all of her books sitting back there. I have a collection of them, they're gorgeous. And I'm going to read them all at some point. But I found this something that I would find incredibly useful for my uni degree because I'd like to study Austen in more detail, which I know is very like, oh my god, they like Jane Austen, how crazy. But no, I thought it would be useful for the future. So this. Next we have something completely left field. I'm gonna take the thing off this. Taking the case off. Right. Get Off the Unicorn by Anne McCaffrey. This is a completely left field. It's a tiny book. I saw it and I was like, what is going on here? I see dragons. It just looks so cute. It's a book about dragons. The only thing Kevin wanted in life was to be a dragon rider, just like his father. I love dragon fantasy. I don't read enough of it. This is a short wee book. It's only like 300 pages, and it's aged. No one ever took this out either. That's incredibly rude. This 1950. Wait, what year? It will not tell me. It should tell me when it was published. 1977 is when the book came out. This edition is 1979. Yes. So I looked at it and was like, dragon book, and I had to take it. So £1.75. Wow, it really was a bargain not having to pay for it. It'll be more than that now. But it's also quite funny because they also have the stickers on them on the side. Like they have the names so my books are gonna just have stickers on them. We'd love to see it. Ooh. Right, speaking of fantasy, Philip Pullman's The Scarecrow and His Servant. This is a Philip Pullman children's book. If you were unaware, Philip Pullman wrote his Dark Materials series. There's a TV show about it on BBC that I think was quite popular. But I just know the original books because it is my mum's favourite book series of all time. I've read the first two, I haven't finished the last one. But I saw this and I was like, I'm intrigued to see what his children's writing does, if that's his adult fiction. So, well, not necessarily adult fiction, but it's not catered specifically towards children. So I thought I would see what happens when he writes something that is. This is, I think, kind of a 12 and up type of, it's like a kid's book. I'm intrigued, however. It's also quite a big hardback, but I'm intrigued to see what is up with this one, because I like Philip Pullman's writing. I'm intrigued to see I feel like his writing would tailor far better to children's novels, but that's just me perceiving how he writes. So, next we have, sorry, they're all in the back. This is incredibly left field. Witness by Anne Cassidy. This is a small thriller novel. Todd is always late for everything. Then one day he's late for school and his life changes forever. He witnesses a vicious robbery and recognizes the attacker. Todd knows exactly what he must do, but events conspire against him. Ooh. And it also has the stickers on. I should take the crime one off. It looks, I'm intrigued. I don't read a lot of thrillers, but it's a short wee book, so it would be one that I wouldn't mind using to get out of a slump. Oh, it didn't stick off clean. Oh well. But I was intrigued because I recognize the name Anne Cassidy. I'm sure she must do other short stories or something, but I recognize the name. But it's also tiny. It's like 60 pages. I was interested. I was intrigued to see. It's also like, it's incredibly, like, it's a short story. I'm interested. Next we have, this is a collection of short stories and essays. Speak of the Mearns, Lewis Grassic Gibbon. Lewis Grassic Gibbon. I just saw it and thought it looked incredibly interesting. He wrote A Scots Choir, I think, which I haven't read, but he's a known Scottish literary figure, but I have never read anything of his, and I just saw this and I love these types of covers for like collections. I don't know, I just find them very sleek and classic and I really enjoy them. And the back has a little sketch from him, which I think is great. I was intrigued by this one, because I would like to have a more diverse palette, and I just saw it and I was like, I'll give this a go. Next we have, obviously, The Withered Arm and Other Wessex Tales, Thomas Hardy. So, Thomas Hardy, also a well-known, he's a well-known American author, like modern classic American author, and as such, I saw it and I was like, I've never read any Thomas Hardy, I should probably give it a go. This is also tiny, I don't know how small the writing, the writing's of like decent size. I was intrigued. Again, all these books have been very intriguing to me. I'm more likely to pick up this than the Horrid Henry collections that were there, if I'm honest. So, but I saw it and I was just like, you know what, I haven't read any Thomas Hardy. I thought it might be interesting to give him a go, see my thoughts. This has a couple of stories in it. Let me see. It should tell me. I haven't actually looked. It has 6 stories in it. Right. The Withered Arm, The Sun's Veto, Tony Kite's The Arch Deceiver, Absent-Minded in a Parish Choir, The Melancholy Hussar of the German Legion, and The Distracted Preacher. They are the stories that are in it. This came out in 1984, this edition. I'm interested. I'm very intrigued. I also like this cover. There's something incredibly joyous about something incredibly joyous about these. I say old, they're not old, but like sort of 30 to 50-year-old like hardback covers with the pictures. I really enjoy them. I don't know why, they just call to me, I think. I used to have books like this as a kid, so I think that's probably part of it. But yeah, this one, go away. There's a fly, I'm so sorry. Next we have, this is Kite by Melvin Burgess, and when I saw it I was like, is this knockoff Kes? As in, there's a book called Kes that I read in school that a lot of people did, and I was right. It's about, there's a pair of red kites in this story. I think there's a pair of red kites, and the main character, whose name I don't know, Taylor, collects the eggs, and etc, yada 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 plot, because I've not read it. But I saw it and I was intrigued, as I have been with all of these apparently. I was interested to see how it would differ from something like Kes, because obviously this is a book, not a play, so it's not the same, but it seems very similar story-wise. So, yes, I was intrigued. Now the last 3 are very similar. We're going to go through them one at a time. So first we have How to Begin Studying English Literature by Nicholas Marsh. Now this was picked up 2019. Wow. This is actually genuinely, it was something that my friend Rebecca, again, she'll never see this, but hello, I love you, Becca, saw this when she was looking at books and was like, take it. I was like, thanks. Because I have made it known that my only personality is studying literature. But this it's about, the subsections are as follows: finding a theme, looking at characters, structure, style and imagery, irony, writing an essay 1, writing an essay 2. There's also a further reading section, and there's also many other books in this series, such as How to Study a Novel, Literary Terms and Criticism, How to Study a Shakespeare Play, I might actually get that one, How to Begin Studying English Literature, How to Study a Jane Austen Novel, How to Study a Thomas Hardy Novel, How to Study a Renaissance Play, etc, etc. There's a lot by John Peck here. This is the only one by Nicholas Marsh, but I enjoy having books like this because even if not all of it is completely, like, some of this will be obvious to me, like, presumably. However, it's nice to find any sort of nuggets of interest that I wouldn't have thought about previously. So I find this great. We have two more of a very similar vein. This is A Guide to English Literature by F.W. Bateson. This one, it goes through, if I'm correct, this goes through time, and the other one I have does as well. So we have abbreviations and conventions, then the approach to medieval literature, a Middle English reading list, an approach to Renaissance literature and then its reading list, the approach to Augustan literature and then its reading list, the approach to Romanticism and a reading list, a literary criticism in English, and then literary scholarship, an introduction to research in English literature. These ones all have reading lists in them, which I find really helpful because this book came out. What year did this book come out? A while ago. 1965. So obviously it kind of cuts at that point in time. It's about it takes into consideration classics and not modern classics, I would imagine. However, I am intrigued. Again, books like this are of immense help to me, and I just saw it and I was like, I need to have it because it gives me reading lists, which is fantastic. I love being told what to read by other books, and also, yeah, any nuggets of truth that I wouldn't have previously known are helpful, especially when it's broken down into different time periods or different, like, an approach to Romanticism. I would not know where to start with romantic literature, and I absolutely would not know how to start an Augustan or maybe Renaissance a little bit, but I wouldn't know how to start in, like, medieval literature. I don't know where to start, and this is really helpful for me to have. Now, this last one is very similar, however, I could not leave it. This is called The Outline of Literature, edited by John Drinkwater. But look at it. Okay, ignore that. This is embossed gold. This is stunning. It's also hefty. It's stunning. And as such, I had to take it. This is, but it's so heavy, my goodness. 1940, so this is even before that one. It also has this gorgeous, right, okay, that's not the point. Yeah, edited by John Drinkwater, which I find such a funny last name. I'm so sorry, I can't not laugh at being called Drinkwater. Revised and extended by Hugh Pollock and Campbell Nairn. Right. There's a cute foreword. And this one goes through time but in a slightly different way. So, the first books in the world, Homer, as in Song of Achilles, or Story of Achilles, Helm of Troy, etc. I was going to say Song of Achilles, that's a different book, that's 2011. Then the story of the Bible, the English Bible as literature, and then the sacred books of the East, which is weird way to put it, but different holy scriptures from Hinduism, etc. Buddhist scriptures, Crickets, Life of Muhammad, the Quran, and the Talmud and stuff. Right. Greek myth and the poets, then Greece and Rome, then the Middle Ages, again, helpful. The Renaissance, again, helpful. Shakespeare. There's versions of Shakespeare and then Shakespeare to Milton, which is incredibly appreciated as someone who likes Shakespeare. Then John Milton in himself, and then Marvell and Walton, John Bunyan, restorative dramatists, French literature, etc., etc. It just goes on through time until Goethe, Schiller, and Lessing. Right. Okay. It just keeps going. This book though, this is hefty. This is thick reading, and I'm so excited about it. I love this one in particular that I looked at. If nothing else, this book is stunning to look at. It is a gorgeous cover. 1940. This was published in 1940. I know that's not all that own books that have come from like the 1800s. However, I don't know, it's nice to have something that has some history behind it. I appreciate it. Like this book, you know, I find it interesting. Like, this book existed before my gran was even born. Things like that. I find it really interesting. So, it's stunning, it has history, and also is incredibly useful as someone studying English literature, because obviously as time goes on, certain things improve and our intelligence, changes, but there's certain things that it's like we're not going to learn much more about the Greek and Roman period now, like occasionally obviously there will be things, but in 1940 what we knew about Greek and Roman myth was probably just about on par with what we know about it now, so things like that don't change a whole lot. But yeah, that is the last book. That is them all. I will show you my big ass pile of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No, it's 14. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 14 books. Goodness gracious. Let's not drop them. This is my pile. That's a lot of books. Oh my goodness, my arms. Whew. Okay. So, yeah, that is all the books. I am excited to be able to get to them all eventually at some point. I already have many books. I'm taking most of these to uni with me though. Particularly the ones about English literature. But yes, this has been a fun time. I have missed filming videos. I miss you lot, even though, I don't really engage. My comments don't really engage with me, but still, I appreciate you all if you ever comment on any of my videos. So yes, that is where we're at. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, you know what to do. Please remember to drink your water, eat your vegetables, and peace out, I guess. I completely forgot how to do that for a minute.